It was pretty dreadful as I, had depression, definitely had suicidal thoughts. Um, Going through betrayal, felt like my wife betrayed me, or ex-wife, and one of my best friends, you know, dealing with all of that and giving up on my dreams. And we moved to Texas, and because of the divorce, we had to move back. So just like losing a lot, losing everything really, because all none of my family lives in this country. So I was so interconnected with my wife's family. So it's like I seriously lost everything. I felt like.
Yeah. And Bob, in that moment, in that time, right around the time you reached out to me, how were you coping? How was it impacting your day-to-day life?
So I was not at completely where I was. I was doing some work and watching videos and just trying to navigate through this darkness of. I mean, I definitely wasn't where I am now, but I wasn't as bad as I was. I was kind of realizing I own a part of this story, and I need to figure out what part of that story is mine so I could not make the same mistakes I made in the past and live a more content life. Because back at the time, like I blamed myself for everything, and that was a very heavy burden. Because some of it's my fault, absolutely, but not all of it. The collapse of my marriage wasn't 100% me, and just trying to navigate through all that stuff. So I needed help to figure out how to do all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true for a lot of folks, right, Bob? There's that time that is so kind of unbearable. And then there's a moment where you start to see that maybe there's a way forward, but you're not sure how exactly to get there, or at least get there
Mhm.
most efficiently. Contrast that for me, Bob. What is life like now? How are you doing today?
I'm definitely doing way better, and I'm getting to the point where I'd almost wouldn't go back to the way if I could have my family back. I mean, I have my family. I have 50-50 custody, so I see my kids, but like the traditional sense of the family, like I don't know. I'm almost to the point where I'm thankful it happened because I'm a better person now. I'm a better father. I'm a way better father than I used to be. Despite I only get to see him half the time, but what's better, being a not so great father 100% of the time, or being a really good father 50% of the time? So yeah, I wouldn't go back. And I'm thankful for what's going on. And I'm thankful for the makes me, or the enlightenment I received, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Bob, would you speak a little bit just towards how you're feeling towards your ex-wife in particular, and how that's different than how you felt before?
Yeah, there's still some pain there. It's always gonna be, right? And I guess the pain that I feel now, it's what if how life would have been with this newer version of myself
Yeah.
if she would have stayed. I guess that's a little pain I feel here, but like I kind of understand how my actions led to her decision to divorce me, and I I have compassion for her. Like I can't say if the roles were reversed if I would have done any better. So like, and we're co-parenting fine. Like we're able to call each other and talk to each other and be at sporting events and enjoy each other's company and a little bit as parents of our kids, right? We're not best friends by any means, but I feel like we're going to do a really good job co-parenting our kids despite, what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob, I love that you used the word some of this enlightenment that's happened. Could you describe what that feels like, or what that experience has been like for you?
At first it was a little hard, but it's like once you change your way of thinking, and a lot of it for me is like accepting responsibility and not playing the victim card, right? Because I could sit here and play the victim card all day. Now I'm not condoning what happened, but at the same time, yeah, just owning the hurt, owning the mistakes, and you could do that and live a productive life, a happier life than you ever thought was possible.
Yeah. Um, how about just on the day-to-day scale right now for you, Bob? What's different in your daily life today than 6 months ago?
I'm actually in I'm enjoying every day. I don't mind going to work. I don't mind, I find a thankfulness in there's something to always be grateful for. And because of that enlightenment, I could recognize that, not get angry when things don't go my way, or there's always something to be thankful for. And because of what happened, I was able to get to spot where I could find things to be thankful for.
Yeah. Uh, Bob, if you could either go back to yourself 6 months ago or to somebody else who's in a similar position, what would you say to them? What do you want them to know?
It does get better, but you have to put into the work, and you can't blame other people. Like, they do make mistakes, just as you made a mistake or I made a mistake. But if you every day you work at it a little bit and dig deep down inside yourself and figure out why you did the things you did and how you reacted, and then you can understand why other people did the things they did. And then, you can find compassion for yourself and other people, the person that hurt you the most.
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty big shift, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, finding compassion for someone who hurt you so deeply.
hmm
Bob, is there anything else that you'd like to share that feels important for kind of a past you or someone in that position now to know?
that I think I already kind of shared, but it does. I mean, when you're in that hurtful, painful place, you don't believe anything, right? Because I've saw a lot of videos too, of guys saying it gets better, and it's really hard to believe that
Yeah.
when you're there, but it does. But it takes a lot of intentionality and work, but it does. It really does.
Yeah, it's funny. You're right. You're like, well, I don't know how to say this in a way that past me would actually believe, right? Because it didn't feel possible. Um,
Uh,
do you remember, Bob, and like, do you remember the moment that you started to believe you could feel better? Or do you remember what it was that helped you go from it's not possible for me to maybe I could feel better?
whew. It was definitely within like the last month or so, or maybe 2 months. I guess it was the moment where it's like when I finally fully understood what my ex-wife did, or why, and like the compassion for her. And then I was able to kind of find compassion for me after that. It's like, for me in my journey, first I found it for her, and then, I found it for myself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that's I can imagine for where you were then and for where a lot of people are now, just imagining that compassion for her, like really feeling it's probably difficult, right?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have. Yeah, you showed me this video a year ago, I'd be like, ah,
You'd be like,
get
yeah,
out of here.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you so much for sharing. And I know there's definitely some people out there who are going to feel like you did a year ago. We're going to be like, yeah,
Mhm.
whatever. But I think, sometimes just hearing that enough times plants the seed, what if, and then gives you the strength to do some of the work.
Mhm.
Right, Bob, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.